One animal on this list freezes completely solid every winter. Heart stopped, brain dark, and walks away in spring. We're counting down 10 creatures that broke biology so badly, scientists had to rewrite the textbooks. And the one that froze solid isn't even number one. One of these animals moves a body part faster than a bullet leaving a gun, and another can regrow its entire heart. Take the mantis shrimp. It punches with the force of a bullet. The snap happens faster than the human eye can even track. That's more explosive force than a creature the size of your thumb should have any right to produce. The shockwave it creates can stun or even kill small prey instantly. That's number 10. But the next animal doesn't attack with heat. It rebuilds itself with a precision that makes our best surgeons look like amateurs. A starfish can regrow a lost arm, but the axolotl makes that look like child's play. Scientists have watched axolotls regrow their hearts, portions of their brains, and sections of their spinal cords. Structures every other vertebrate on Earth treats as permanent losses. The key is neoteny. Axolotls never fully mature, staying in a permanent larval state, and that youthful biology appears to keep their regeneration machinery switched permanently on. Researchers have already identified the specific genes driving this, and they're directly informing human limb regeneration research happening right now. But the next animal's superpower doesn't repair the body, it stops time inside it entirely. The tardigrade is microscopic, so picture the toughest animal you can see, a cockroach. Like a bear curling up to hibernate, it shuts its body almost completely down. In this state, tardigrades have survived the vacuum of outer space, radiation doses 1,000 times lethal to humans, temperatures from minus 328 degrees Fahrenheit up to 300 degrees, and pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench. One study found they can hold this dormant state for at least 30 years and then fully revive. They haven't solved death permanently, but they've put it on indefinite hold. Now we're inside the top 7, and the next animal has a superpower so fast, the human eye literally cannot track it. The mantis shrimp releases a spring-loaded club arm that accelerates at 10,000 to 400 grosses, reaching speeds around 50 miles per hour in under 3 milliseconds. That strike hits with the force of a .22 caliber bullet, and just like the pistol shrimp, it generates cavitation bubbles on impact, meaning the prey gets hit twice, once by the club, once by the collapsing shockwave. Its eyes contain 16 types of photoreceptors compared to our 3, letting it detect polarized light and process color information 10 times richer than anything a human can perceive. Engineers are now modeling the mantis shrimp's club structure to design better helmets and body armor. Its layered composite absorbs repeated high-velocity impacts without cracking. A shrimp that punches like a bullet and sees like a military satellite. But the next animal's superpower doesn't live in its limbs or eyes. It lives in its skin. The mimic octopus doesn't just shift color like other cephalopods. It physically impersonates the body shape and behavior of specific dangerous animals to fool predators in real time. Documented impressions include the lionfish, the flatfish, and the banded sea snake. This kind of rapid adaptation requires serious brain power, or in this case, serious nerve power. It does this with no centralized visual brain region. 2/3 of its neurons are distributed across its arms, meaning each arm processes sensory data and makes basic decisions semi-independently. A master of disguise running 8 semi-autonomous minds. But what comes next makes disguise look like a party trick. The electric eel can stun prey with a jolt stronger than a wall outlet. Think of it like hundreds of tiny batteries all firing at once. A single discharge can stun a horse standing in the water. Even sharks use electrical fields to hunt prey hiding under sand. But the most mind-blowing survival trick belongs to a tiny jellyfish. Take the jellyfish. One species has cracked the secret to biological immortality. When stressed, injured, or old, it undergoes transdifferentiation. Adult cells transform into entirely different cell types, and the mature jellyfish reverts to a polyp, the earliest stage of its life, starting completely over. There's no known upper limit to how many times it can do this. Theoretically, a single Turritopsis dohrnii could cycle indefinitely, which means aging for this animal is optional. The genes driving its transdifferentiation overlap significantly with genes linked to cancer and stem cell behavior in humans, which is exactly why cancer researchers are paying very close attention to a jellyfish the size of a fingernail. Biological immortality is staggering. But remember that frozen animal from the opening? We're almost there, and number 2 is going to stop you cold before we get to it. The Dracula ant, Mystrium camilla, moves its mandibles at 90 meters per second, roughly 200 miles per hour. the fastest recorded animal movement on Earth. That stored energy releases the way a mousetrap snaps shut, sudden and violent. The snap flings prey or threats away from the colony at speeds nothing else in the insect world can match. It's a weapon and a catapult built into one jaw. The ant earns its name from another habit. Adult workers cut small wounds in their own larvae and drink the hemolymph, the insect equivalent of blood, without killing them, a behavior called non-destructive cannibalism. The fastest movement in the animal kingdom belongs to something you could crush underfoot. But now, finally, the animal that freezes solid and comes back to life. The wood frog freezes completely solid every winter. Heart stopped, breathing stopped, brain activity gone. And in spring, it thaws out and hops away without any damage. Here's the mechanism. As temperatures fall, the wood frog floods its cells with glucose. Blood sugar concentrations spike to roughly 200 times normal, turning the cell fluid into a natural antifreeze syrup that stops ice crystals from rupturing cells from the inside. Up to 65% of the water in its body does freeze solid. The frog is genuinely, literally a block of ice. But because the inside of each cell stays protected, no cellular damage occurs. Wood frogs repeat this every single year of their lives, and cryobiologists studying them have directly applied the glucose flooding mechanism to the challenge of preserving human donor organs for transplant. A frog that clinically dies every winter and resurrects every spring is almost impossible to beat. Almost, because number one doesn't just survive the impossible, it weaponizes its own body chemistry in a way nothing else on Earth has managed. The slow loris is the only venomous primate on Earth. It produces a toxin by mixing a secretion from a gland on its upper arm with saliva, creating a compound capable of triggering anaphylactic shock and, in rare documented cases, death. Even large predators like owls will drop and flee after grabbing one. A rattlesnake coils and shakes its tail, warning every predator nearby.